So, what is self-worth? So, self-worth is just that as a human, you are inherently valuable. Your value can't go up or down. There's no way to increase or decrease it. You're always worthy of love and respect no matter what. So, that's very different than um, how important you are to your family or providing for someone or all these other things of how we can be more meaningful to someone. But just your value as a living being can't go up or down. And I always love the way Fred Rogers said it, people can like you just the way you are. And that's something that we need in order to feel like we are doing our life correctly. And so, key takeaways, if you don't remember anything else that we talk about, external validation is healthy, external self worth is not. When we're getting our self worth from external sources, that's the same as it being able to go up and down. When we're not getting those external sources of self worth, we feel worse. And then we are getting them, we feel better. And that roller coaster is exhausting. So, what does external self-worth look like? It looks like, usually for most of us, accolades, accomplishments, or competence, and some variation or combination of those three. So some people just live for compliments. Some, if they can get everybody to think that they are the best, then they feel really safe. They feel really great about themselves. Other people I know hate getting compliments. They don't like being the center of attention. Accomplishments like being the best in your office or getting this award or going after some prestigious thing, like all the astronauts, I would assume, feel amazing when they get chosen for a mission. That's wonderful. And if it's also their source of self-worth, then it can be dangerous. So those huge accomplishments that we go for, those big goals we set. And then competence, this is actually my favorite one, is like, I'm going to just get really good at something and then I'll know that I'm safe. I'll know that I am valuable in the world because I'm really good at X, Y, or Z. So we'll just go learn a new skill or study harder. We're just going to try harder. That's how I kind of sum up competence. Like if I try harder, then I'm going to be okay. So why are we like this? Why do we go to external sources of self-worth if they're not healthy or helpful? One is many of us were raised to earn love, and it's not necessarily intentional on the part of the parent, although I have one client who was always very large. And so in order to have any sort of control over him as a child, his mom used a lot of shame. And so she was kind of more overt in like, if you do this, I love you. If you don't do this, I don't love you. And so we get on this roller coaster from a very young age, even with the most well-intentioned parents of, I approve of you when you do this. I enjoy you a lot more when you do this. I feel closer or warmer towards you when you behave in a certain way. And that conditional regard becomes or feels like to a child conditional love. Even if our parents truly loved us unconditionally, their behavior might have communicated that their regard was conditional. It's also really relational to care what other people think about us. We are humans. Humans are a very social creature. And so knowing what everybody else is doing, what their opinions are, and how we fit into that is actually really important to survival and to our well-being. It's just when it gets turned up too high is when it becomes that we are exporting or externalizing our self-worth. It also creates good outcomes. I mentioned the astronauts earlier. The CIA actually did an experiment one time trying to figure out the right amount of trauma to create really high achievers. And so a lot of times the way we drive ourselves towards those compliments, towards those accomplishments and that competence is through this. And so when we try to get away from it, some people worry that they're going to not accomplish as much. They're not going to try as hard if they don't have their entire like safety and validation at stake. And then the alternatives. A lot of times, if we know someone who doesn't seem to worry about whether they're doing a good job, they act like jerks, and we don't want to be that. So we don't really have a good role model for what the alternative to external or conditional self-worth is. And so that I wanted to illustrate that even more in depth. So when someone is grandiose, when they come across as like God's gift, that's the one-up position. They think they're better than most other people. They're more entitled. They take up a lot of space. That is outside the circle of health, but it is also outside of the circle of health to think that you don't deserve to take up as much space as you do take up. And one of the examples I've been using a lot is like paying at the grocery store or pulling out of the parking lot at the grocery store and feeling like, oh no, I'm going to be taking up somebody else's valuable time if I take too long to pay or I take too long to get my car out of the parking spot, which is just, that's a one down position that your time and your space is like you're less entitled to your space than whoever it is that's waiting for you, right? So we want to be in the same as position. We are equal to everybody else on the planet. So we also cannot truly connect from either of those positions. And a lot of people who act grandiose are hiding a less than position, and vice versa. Some people who act less than, they actually secretly feel better than other people. So neither of those are healthy. We want to get to the same as position. We are as valuable, as worthy, as lovable as anybody else on the planet. And anyone else on the planet is as lovable as we are, no matter how flawed, no matter how much we might dislike that person, they are still valuable of like breathing. And an example I gave of this one time when we were I was having this conversation with someone is if you saw them like fall and get hurt, would you still go render aid? Like that's like the bar. This person is valuable enough that I would call 911 if I saw them get hurt. That's what we're going for, not I'm going to invite them over to dinner and spend my time with them. We don't need to assume that everybody else is worth our time, but they're still worthy of somebody could love them. Okay, so what are the strategies to get to that same as? Recognition and identifying role models and relationships. I'm going to go into these each individually. So identifying your external source of self-worth is helpful because then you can be like, oh, I'm doing that instead of just assuming that I'm inherently valuable. So you can still do the behavior, but you want to recognize while you're doing it that like going after that accomplishment, going after that compliment, or enhancing the skill is not actually making me more valuable. It's going to make me feel better, but it's not going to make me more valuable. That acknowledgement. So identifying what those things are for you, if one of those three didn't just like jump out and scream at you like, yep, that's what I do when I'm feeling low, I go after this. Answer one of these three prompts. Why can't other people just, like when you feel really annoyed with how other people behave in the world, that thing is what you do to earn safety. And so that's when I'm doing this, I'm trying to earn safety. It's very important for me to always like, I have to be on time. It's okay if other people are late, but I have to be on time. I hate when people, so if you just finish one of the three of these that jump out at you, it's going to help show you where you're trying to earn your place in the world instead of just feel that you just own that place by existing. And so identifying it and recognizing it. And like I said, you're still going to do the thing. You're still going to want to be on time. You're still going to go after that next promotion, whatever that thing is, but recognize while you're doing it that it doesn't make you more valuable. Okay. And this is my favorite one. We all mess up. And fierce self-compassion says, I'm going to hold myself accountable. I'm going to keep trying to be better. And I'm not going to shame myself into doing it. So sometimes I don't speak as kindly to my child as I want to. And then I feel frustrated with myself. And then I remind myself, like, I'm still a good mom, even when I make that mistake. And so that and is the really important part for having healthy self-worth, because you want to be able to be accountable to your own standards while not making yourself conditional self-regard, your own regard conditional on your performance. I can feel good about who I am as a person and not feel great about a behavior at the same time. So we're not making it black and white. We're letting there be nuance. You are great. You are lovable. And you totally screwed up. Those things can be true at the same time. So I put it in the cheesiest way possible on this third bullet point. My best isn't always very great. Sometimes my best is terrible, and I can still fully love and accept myself. And then on the role models and recognition one, what do I need right now? When you think about the people that you're going to be spending time with, are you looking for someone who's going to make you feel great about something you accomplished? Do I need someone that will help hold me accountable? Do I need someone just to feel more grounded? Or do I need someone like for comfort and warmth? And so that's really helpful to identify what it is you need and who in your life could provide that, so that you don't, sometimes we get in the habit of kind of always going to the same person and then feeling a little bit like, I didn't get what I needed from that person. Maybe there's something wrong with me, instead of maybe I didn't go to the right person. It's analogous to like if clothes don't fit you, those clothes aren't right for you. There's nothing wrong with your body. There's a mismatch between the clothes and you. Similar here. If I'm not getting my need met by this human, it doesn't mean there's something wrong with me. It might mean I went to the wrong source. So that was today's webinar. And I don't have a topic yet for next month, but I would love your input on it. You can email me, you can comment, or reach out any way that you find me on social media. And then I'll announce the topic for May soon. Thank you.